Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League, and we are here to make our predictions. Things are really starting to, set up straight. We are starting to see the teams that are basically going to qualify for the next round, and there are teams which we almost like certainly know that are going to get eliminated. There are a lot of big teams that are still, in a problematic situation. It's not very clear where they are going to finish. So it is we are going to be the halfway there after this game. So it is going to be, it's like a very important match day for all the teams involved. And as I said, like most of them, there are some teams which are most probably gonna end up being eliminated after this round as already, because they have till now not won a single game. And if you look at currently the top 10 of in top 10 places, like the top 3 are the Premier League teams, so the English teams have been doing really well. And then if you look at top 10, Arsenal are at the 9. So out of the top 10, 4 of them are English teams. English teams are doing really good. If you look at the big boys, Real Madrids and the Bayern Munichs and Juventuses and all of them, like they are not even in the top 10. They are struggling at the moment. They have not really played up to their potential, so they know how important this round is. So because they know they have to try to make up the gap and somehow get into either try to get into the top 8 or somehow make sure that they are in the next 16 teams. So it's a very important round. So let's go ahead and make our prediction. The first game is Bratislava versus Dinamo Zagreb. It is 36 versus 22. Bratislava, unfortunately for them, have been probably the easiest teams for to face for any team till now. They have lost all 3 of them games, and all of those defeats have been quite convincing. They have not really played up to their potential. They were like the underdogs coming into this competition, and they have performed like everybody expected them to. They lost to Girona 2-0 on match day 3, and now it is like a big game for them. If they really want to stay in this competition, they need to get a result and they need to win at this game. They are playing against a Zagreb side that are they are 22nd in the position in the table. They have played 3 of them games, and they have had all 3 different results. They have won 1, lost 1, drew 1, and they are on 4 points. And as Zagreb know that this is a huge opportunity for them to to secure their position in that qualifier area, because if they win this, they go to 7 points, and then there are big games where a lot of teams are gonna drop points. So they in respect to other teams, I think as Zagreb would fancy themselves that they have an easy game today, and I think they are going to make sure that they somehow get a result, and I think they are going to get the result. And unfortunately for Bratislava, I think they are going to get their 4th straight defeat in the competition. I think it will be a close game, but I think Zagreb are going to make it. I'm going for a 2-1 win for a Dynamo Zagreb. The next game is PSV versus Girona. It is a 28th versus 24th. Now both these teams have really struggled. They have not really performed like people expected them to. Like PSV, they have still not won a single game. They've drawn 2 and they have lost 1. Their last game was against a PSG, and they somehow drew that game. They played really well in that game, and they would hope that that momentum continues in this game and they can somehow get a result. They are at home as well, and they are playing against a Girona side who have not really been that good in the competition themselves. They have lost twice, and they won just 1 game. They are on 3 points, and they defeated Bratislava, who are, as I said, have been probably the worst team of the competition. So it's not like that Girona have defeated somebody good. So PSV would really fancy themselves in this game, and the way that Girona have played this season, I think it could turn out to be the first win for PSV. I think I'm going for a home win. It will be a very narrow win. I'm going for a 1-0 win for PSV. Moving on to the next game, it is Borussia Dortmund versus Stuttgart. It is 11th versus 33rd. Borussia Dortmund have had a really good season in the Champions League till now. They have won twice, and their last game was like one of the best games in the Champions League, and produced one of the best individual performances from Vini Jr. Like they were 2-0 up in the first half, and then Real Madrid, they come and they destroy Borussia Dortmund courtesy of Vini Jr. in the second half. The game ends 5-2. But as I said, they have been really good. They defeated Leipzig over the weekend, so they are coming in this game with a big huge confidence boost. They are playing against the Stuttgart side who have played 3 and they've lost all 3 games. They lost to Sporting 2-0 on match day 3, and it was quite a convincing performance from Sporting, and I think it is gonna continue with them. I think they are gonna suffer their 4th defeat again, and I really don't see any other result apart from Dortmund. I think it is going to be a comprehensive win. I'm going for a 6-0 win for Borussia Dortmund. The next game is Celtic versus RB Leipzig. It is a 20th versus a 31st. Celtic, they have played 3 games and they have had all 3 results in those games. Drew one, lost one, and 1-1. They drew last on match day 3, and they would hope that they can somehow again, like they are in that position where they know if they get a win, they can sort of make sure that they are in the next round. In the round of 16. So they know how important that this game is. But they are playing against our RB Leipzig side, who have massively underperformed in the Champions League. They have played 3 games and all 3 of them have been defeats. They lost to Liverpool on a match day 3, but the thing is, what it is like, you cannot really understand what is happening to them in the Champions League, because in the league they were undefeated until this week, and like they have been so good in the Bundesliga. They are at the second position at the moment, and that's just because they lost to Borussia Dortmund over the weekend, and they have been so good. But when it comes to Champions League, they are not really able to perform, and now they are coming in with finally losing in the Bundesliga as well. So the morale is going to be a little bit down, and they are going away to Celtic. That Celtic crowd is always up for those European night. I think it is going to be a very good game, but I just don't see any of these teams winning, to be very honest with you. I think it is going to end up in a draw, and I think it will be an exciting draw because both teams really like to play attacking football and try to outscore each other. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Celtic and RB Leipzig. Then it's one of the biggest fixtures in European football. It is Real Madrid, it is AC Milan, both teams going at it. But at the moment, both of them are not really in a position where you expect them to be. It is a 12th versus a 24th. Real Madrid, they won against Borussia Dortmund over the week on match day 3. It was an amazing performance, and they would hope that they can continue, because like other teams, they are not really where they want to be. They need to make sure that they somehow get into the top 8 so that they don't have to play the qualifier. They are playing against a Milan side who have been really bad in the Champions League. They have lost twice already. They have won once. They won on match day 3, so that somehow got their they got their first points of the tournament. It is going to be a very tough game. I think Real Madrid are going to be fresh. They are playing for the first time since they lost the El Clasico. They did not play over the weekend because of the disasters that happened in Spain. So I think it is a big opportunity for Real Madrid to get those 3 points and somehow get the El Clasico out of their mind, because Champions League is their tournament and they always perform in it. And the way that they played their last game, I think the players are going to be really up for it. And Milan, on the other hand side, they are playing really good in the Serie A. They won over the weekend as well, and they are going to come in this game with a lot of confidence. But it's just, again, it's Real Madrid. It is at the Santiago Bernabeu, and I think Real Madrid are going to win it. I think they are going to win this game 3-1. The next game is Lille versus Juventus. It is 15th versus 14th. Both these teams are basically on the same number of points. They have both won 2 games. And they've lost 1 game. So it is they themselves, like the beauty of this year's competition and the way that they have set it up. There was a lot of criticism, but I am really a big fan of, because you have a lot of these big games which normally wouldn't have face each other so early, and these games wouldn't have meant so much to them, because there are so many teams fighting tooth and nail to somehow get into the top 8 to make sure that they don't have to play the qualifiers. Every game becomes very interesting, and I think this is going to be another one of those games. And the way that both these teams are playing, I really think they'll have a great chance to get the win. The way Juventus set up, I've been a big critic of Thiago Motta, how he's setting up the play and how Juventus have played under him. I really don't think he is the right guy for Juventus. I've been saying this the whole season. Lille, on the other hand, I think it will be a very interesting game the way it turns out, and I think Lille are gonna nick it in the end. I think it will be a very close game, but Lille, because the way Juve set up, I think they are gonna win it. I'm going in for a very close a 2-1 win for Lille. The next game is Liverpool versus Bayer Leverkusen. It is 2nd versus 6th. Liverpool are one of the 3 sides who have won all their 3 games, and they have 100% record. Leverkusen, on the other hand, they have won twice and they have drawn 1. They are still undefeated. So it is like one of those games which is very important for both these games, because if Liverpool win this game, it is almost certain that they are going to be in the top 8 and they don't have to play that qualifier for the round of 16. So it is a huge game for them. They are playing against the Leverkusen side, who themselves know that it is a very important important game that they can make sure they can get a step further in that direction, that they don't have to play the qualifier. So it's a very a big game. Both these teams won. Leverkusen, sorry, drew over the weekend. Liverpool won that over the weekend. They came from behind to defeat Brighton. They are at the top of the Premier League table, and they are gonna come in this game with a huge confidence. They are playing at Anfield, and the way that team is playing, I really don't see like any other results. It will be a very interesting game. There will be goals. The Xabi Alonso, that you have your story there. Xabi Alonso coming back to Liverpool as well. It is going to be an emotional night for him as well. But I think unfortunately for him, his side is going to lose. I think there will be goals in this game, and I think it is going to end up a 3-2 win for Liverpool. The next game is Sporting versus Manchester City. It is 8th versus 3rd. Again, two teams who are still undefeated in the league. Again, two teams who have been really playing a good football for their respective side. Manchester City finally lost a game over the weekend in the Premier League, so they are going to have that in their mind as well. They are coming into this game. They are going away to Portugal. Sporting have been really good in the league and in the Champions League as well. But the thing is that they are playing against the City side who are in a sort of in a sour mood, and they sort of when they are in a sour mood, they like to take out their frustration, and Sporting could be the punching bag that Manchester City take out their frustration. But on the other hand, Sporting are the sort of team that Manchester City have really struggled this season. I've been saying this for the last 2-3 weeks, that Manchester City are not really playing to their potential. They are not really able to break teams down, and they are not playing those fast playing football. Rodri's absence has hurt them a lot, and it is showing from the last 2-3 weeks that the teams who sat back and the teams are trying to hit them on the counter, Manchester City are not able to play them, and it was happening for the last 2 weeks, and finally this week they lost the game. And I think Sporting game is going to be somewhat similar to them, and there's a big risk that City lose that game. I'm being very honest, and I'm not showing any bias as an Arsenal fan or anything. I just think it is going to be a very tough game. I'm not going to give the win to Sporting, but I just don't see them losing as well. So I'm going for a draw, and I think it will be a very low scoring draw. I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Sporting and Manchester City. The next game is Bologna versus Monaco. It is 29th versus 4th. Bologna have not won a single game till now in this competition. Monaco have not lost a single game in this competition. So it is like a big mismatch. Monaco, they have lost 2 games in a row in the Liga. They lost to Angers. Like that was a big upset. I think that was the biggest upset in Europe this weekend. Bologna, they have been really inconsistent in the league as well, and I think it is going to be a step too far. Even though they are at home, and Monaco are going to be really pissed, and they they can sort of see that their position in Liga is now not that stable as it were a couple of weeks ago. Like they were on top of a Liga, but now they are it's not looking really that good. The title challenge has sort of faltered even in just 2 leagues. It has gone away sort of. So they're going to make sure that they perform in the Champions League, and I think they are going to perform, and I think they are going to get the win, and I am going for a 2-0 win for Monaco. The next game is probably one of the biggest games in this round, because both of these teams are on the brink of elimination. It is Shakhtar versus Donetsk. It is Shakhtar Donetsk versus Young Boys. It is 30th versus 35th. Shakhtar have just 1 point. Young Boys don't have a single point. They have lost all 3 games, and both these teams know how important this game is. If some of the if either team gets a win, they still have a glimmer of hope to stay in this competition. Otherwise, it is a curtain, especially for both of them. Like Shakhtar just have a point. So it's a very important game, and Young Boys, they have been really bad this season in the Champions League. Shakhtar themselves have not really been that good, if I'm being very honest with you, and I think it will be another hard-fought game. But I think just because Shakhtar are going to be at home, I think they are just going to nick it, and they are just going to stay in this competition, keep themselves barely in this competition. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Shakhtar. The next game is a Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. It is 26 versus a first. Brugge have just won once this competition, and they have not really playing good football at the moment as well. Playing versus Aston Villa, who are at the top of the top of the Champions League table. Nobody would have expected that after 3 games it would be Aston Villa. They have played 3-1-3. They have won big games in the Champions League as well. They've had a 100% record, and they're doing really good in the league. But over the weekend they lost a game against Tottenham. I don't know how they lost that game. They were leading 1-0 for a long time, and then Spurs coming and they won the game 4-1. So that would have affected their confidence a little bit, and they are going away to Bruges as well. I think that could play a part where it is could turn out to be the first game where Villa don't win. But I don't really, I don't want to really underestimate Unai Emery, because whenever you underestimate Unai Emery and his team, he proves you wrong. I think it is going to be a very close game, just because Villa have to travel away, and they were away on the weekend as well, so that could take a toll on the players. And Bruges themselves, they are not playing really good, but it is a hard place to go to. I think it will be a very, very close game, but I think Aston Villa nick it in the end. I'm going for another 1-0 win for Aston Villa. Moving on to the next game, it is a Feyenoord versus RB Salzburg. It is 16th versus 34th. Now Feyenoord, they have won twice already in this competition, and they are with what was expected from them. I think they are doing really good. They are in that place where sort of everybody expected them to be in the first round. They are playing against the Salzburg side, who have not really performed really good. They have lost all 3 games, and for them it is a must-win game, because if they don't, I think it is a curtains for them in this year's Champions League. And unfortunately for them, I just don't see them winning. Feyenoord are at home, they are going to be really up for it, and they know that this is their big chance to get into those top 8 and sort of secure themselves to not play the qualifiers. As I keep on saying, every single team knows how important a single game is. There could be a result from other side which really help them with their win, and they could quite easily be in that top 8. So they're going to make sure they get the win, and I think they are going to win it, and I think it will be a comfortable win as well. I'm going for a 3-0 home win. The next game is a big one, and which huge ramifications. It is Paris Saint-Germain. It versus Atletico Madrid. It is 19th versus 24th. Like before the competition, if you would have asked somebody that where do you think these teams are going to be after 3 games, nobody would have said that they are going to be in this position. So both of them have really underperformed, and they know how important this game is. If they don't win this game, it could be really curtains for them, because there are other teams who have easier fixtures than them, and easier fixtures to play as well, that can easily overtake them, and it could be turn out to be a way where PSG and Atletico Madrid are not even in the qualifiers. It is such a huge game for both of them, and the way that they are playing, PSG they won over the weekend, so they are coming this game with a good confidence. Atleti on the other hand, it has not been really good good of a season for them. They are really struggling. They are struggling everywhere, if I'm being very honest with you, and I think it is gonna continue this in this game as well. I think PSG are gonna win it. It is not going to be an easy win for them, but I just think they are gonna nick it. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Paris Saint-Germain. The next game is Bayern Munich versus Benfica. It is 23rd and 13th. Like Bayern are 23rd in the table and Benfica are 13th in the table. Bayern have lost twice already. Benfica have won twice already. There, so both of them, they are coming in this game with different circumstances. Bayern Munich, they lost to Barcelona with that a big thrashing by Barcelona, and they are gonna play a Benfica side who are in a really good form. They know how important this game is for them. It is basically a game to survive, to not lose this game. They are going to come with this mindset in this game. Bayern Munich, they know how important this game is. They have to win no matter what, if they really want to secure their place even in the qualifiers, because as I said, they are not doing really good. They have already lost twice in the competition, especially like losing to Aston Villa was not on the cards. They have been a hit and a miss in the Champions League this season, and I think it will be another very close game. People are going to just say that it is going to be an easy win for Bayern because they are at home and whatnot, but Benfica, they are playing really good. I think it could turn out to be, I said this before the Aston Villa game as well. I said Bayern could lose that game, and I got ridiculed on Twitter when I put out that video. A lot of people made fun of me, but Bayern lost that game, and I'm saying this in this game as well, because the way Benfica played, Bayern could really be caught out on that counter attack. They could easily lose this game because Bayern have not been that good defensively. Their midfield has not really performed to the level that you would expect. The only positive side that they have in this game is that they are at the Allianz Arena, and that could help them, and that is why I'm gonna not go for a Benfica win. I think this game is gonna end up in a draw, and I think it will be an exciting draw as well. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Bayern Munich and Benfica. The next game is Sparta Praha versus Brest. It is 21th versus 5th. Sparta Praha, to be very honest with you, they have played a really good football in the Champions League. They have, at the moment, they are outperforming a lot of teams. Nobody really expected them to be this in this position. People are going to say it is 21st, but if you look at the other teams that are below them, they are playing a lot better than them, and they're performing better than them. So they they would hope that it can continue. They are playing against a Brest side who are still undefeated, but they are not really in that much of a good form. They have been quite inconsistent throughout this season, but they've been undefeated in Champions League, so they could take that in their mind coming into this game. It is going to be a very tough away day for them. Going to Accra, it's not going to be very easy, and I think that that is the reason for my prediction. I think just because of the way they are going to play, the crowd at Sparta Praha, I think it is going to be quite intimidating for Brest, and I think that is why they are going to lose this game. I think it will be a very tight game, but I think Sparta Praha are going to win this one 2-1. The next fixture, unfortunately, is like the easiest one to make the prediction about. Is Serena Vesda versus Barcelona. It is 33rd versus 10th. Serena Vesda have not won a single game till now in this competition. Unfortunately for them, they are playing against a Barcelona side who are on a real high. They have won twice already, and they themselves are not in that top 8. They are not in that secure position, and they would love to get into that. And I think the way that they are playing, they won the El Clasico, they won over the weekend as well, and I think they are going to win this, and I think it will be a comfortable win for Barcelona as well. I am going for a 4-0 win for Barcelona. The next game is a huge one. It is Inter versus Arsenal. It is a 7th versus a 9th. Now both these teams are still undefeated in the league. Both these teams have won twice and drawn one. They are on the same points, and it is a big game. It's a big European fixture. Two giant European clubs are going at it, and I think it will be a very tough game. Both these teams have not really performed to their level in their domestic leagues this season. Inter are second, Arsenal are fourth, so they are both going to come in this game with come in this game thinking that it is very important for them. Arsenal did not win over the weekend as well. Inter won, and I think Inter are coming in this game with a lot of better much better confidence mentally, especially with the way that the things have gone for them. Arsenal, I think they are not in a good mental state, if I'm being very honest with you, coming into this game. I think it's going to be a very tough game for Arsenal. They are away at an Inter side, but the way that interplay and all that sort of the way setup, I think that is gonna help Arsenal in that regard. I think it'll be a very tough game. I think it is Arteta's biggest test in Europe this season, going away to San Siro as well. I think it will be a very close game, but I just don't see any of them winning this game. I think it will end up in a 1-1 draw between Inter and Arsenal. The last game on a match day for the Champions League is Stuttgart versus Atalanta. It is 18th versus 17th. Now both these teams have been all over the place, whether it's the league, whether it's the Champions League. It is inconsistency at best. A couple of weeks they are really good, a couple of weeks they are not really that good. So it's really hard to predict both of them. And the fun thing is they have sort of they both of them overperformed last season, and now when there were expectations from them, they are really underperforming. So it is quite interesting. I think it will be a very fun game to watch. It will be very interesting, high scoring game, but I just don't see a winner out of them. I think both of them are just gonna go for it, and we are gonna see a lot of goals in this game. I'm going for a 3-3 draw between Stuttgart and Atalanta. And with that, my my prediction for match day 4 in the Champions League are complete. We are going to see how many of them are, how many of them turn out to be correct, and how many of them are just all over the place. We'll see at the end of match day, and we're going to review them here. And that is it from me in this video. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 450 subscribers by the end of November. So please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel. Until next time, bye-bye.